Hello everybody, ConvectionCast here. Severe weather is expected to develop tomorrow across parts of the United States, mainly around the plain area, and also we are tracking possibly a more active pattern heading into next week. So let's get into what's actually going to be happening in more in-depth. A disturbance moving through the atmosphere will help trigger thunderstorms along a frontal boundary. The main area of concern appears to be across parts of the central and southern plains into the Midwest. Within this zone, storms could become strong to severe. I'm not expecting a lot of storms to become severe, but I think there is a chance. Mostly damaging winds and large hail, but there is a isolated tornado threat pretty much smack dab in the middle of Oklahoma. So that's always something to look out for, that we do have a risk, but I do not think this is anywhere near a crazy risk. I honestly don't think there'll be anything tomorrow, but always need to stay on the lookout just in case anything happens. Storms may develop during the afternoon and continue into the evening hours, depending on time and heating. So let's get into the timing and breakdown. Looking at the environment, we see moderate to strong instability building ahead of the system, as you can see right here. The dark blue is around 1500, and that is decent for thunderstorms. Now, just think of instability being gasoline for a car. That's pretty much gasoline for the storm. It's just the fuel storm, and anything above 1000 is technically decent, and we do have 1500 in place. Wind shear is also supportive of organized storm structures, meaning some storms could rotate. Do have pretty heightened wind shear around 200 to 100, but it's more like southeast Kansas where we saw that raised cape around like 2000. If storms can remain isolated, the potential for like supercells increases, which is typically where we see strongest hail and tornado threats. Now, if there was going to be a tornado, it'd be central Oklahoma, but our hail threat it's going to stretch all the way up to Kansas, southern Nebraska, all the way down to Florida through like Arkansas, Louisiana. It's huge. Also, our wind threat's pretty high as well, but I'm mostly concerned of damaging hail on this. Now, let's get into like flooding and heavy rain and things like that. Another concern with this system is heavy rainfall. We're mostly going to see heavy rainfall now to like southeast, like on the coast. Some areas could see repeated rounds of thunderstorms, which may lead to localized flooding issues. So if you're anywhere in these southern states, like where you see this like red and like green, mostly the red and like yellow, you may see some localized flooding, so you may want to look out for that. Looking beyond tomorrow, we shift into the longer range outlook for next week. At this time, models show a somewhat uncertain pattern developing across the United States. The jet stream appears to remain active, but there's no strong, well-defined storm systems locked in for next week. There may be periods of showers or thunderstorms at times, but coverage and timing remain highly uncertain pretty much. No organized severe weather event is clearly indicated this far out, but spring patterns can change quickly. Basically, we don't know what will happen like 100% next week. It's indicating that there won't be any severe weather really for most of next week, but we don't know for sure yet because it can change quickly. There will be a few thunderstorms around the country at times, but we will try to keep you updated. Temperatures are expected to fluctuate across the country. Early on, we will see colder than average temperatures in the south and warmer than average temperatures in, like central to west of the United States. But then later on, we will see warmer conditions likely in the south and more neutral, variable conditions in the north. This back and forth pattern is typical during transitional spring setups, as we just talked about. So this is a sign that our severe weather risk could change pretty fast, like we were just saying. Overall confidence for next week remains low, and the forecast will likely change as we get closer. We'll continue to monitor updates as new model data comes in, but until then, see you next time.